Hello Music 110. So this is a short video just to remind you on how to get started and to complete composition worksheet number 2. This is due Friday, March 6th online. Basically going off of what we've done today in class already. And you can see the instructions here. But I'm just going to go through a quick sort of demo using just a rhythm and maybe Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, maybe something like that, to write a rhythm, to draw a contour that helps me define what the melody is going to look like, and then assign scale degree numbers to it, and then rewrite it as a melody. Okay, so just 4 steps that wanted to just put it in the video, so in case you needed to go back and figure out what I meant by something, this is a good chance to review. So for example, let's say and by the way, this is just a demo, please, for the homework, please use these words. But for example, let's say I'm doing Twinkle Twinkle Little. So I'm going to write 1 syllable per note, and I can use any sort of combination of notes. Twinkle, twinkle, little, let's say. And of course I need to, one thing I'm going to look at is whether your bar has the requisite number of equivalent quarter notes. So in 4/4 we need the equivalent of 4 quarter notes. Okay, so if you have too few or too many, that's not going to be correct. Okay, so I have a dotted quarter, eighth, 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 eighth. I'm going to write each syllable below each note. And for the poem that you're using, all the words are 1 syllable, so you don't have to worry about how to split them up. So just make sure you use only 1 word per note. So that's our rhythm, right? So twinkle, twinkle, little, something like that. The next thing I'm going to do is going to use this graph on the top and to draw a kind of contour. So a line that sort of asks you to create a shape or a contour for the melody. This is just an intermediary step before we translate this melody, this rhythm, into notes. Okay, so I'm asking you to kind of think about a shape. You know, for example, in the instructions I'd say, be sure to create an interesting shape that includes both high points and low points. So not just like a flat line, because that's not as interesting. And also, this works best if you draw a line that connects from note to note. Okay, and what I mean by that is instead of just doing sort of like like something like that, okay, which is a little harder to translate the relationship between this and this. What I think works much better is if you sort of pretend each note is a point here in the graph, and you're connecting it. So let's say I'm starting low. By the way, HML is just a reminder. This is high, middle, low, just to as a reminder of what the graph might look like. So let's say I'm going to start low. I'm going to go really high, okay, for the 8th note, and then we'll come back down slowly, and then go back up at the end. You can see that I basically have sort of nodes, right, at each point here that's corresponding to the notes that I have. Okay. Next, what I'd like you to do is using this shape. I'm going to just to help you sort of think about what are the scale degrees that would be involved for matching this shape to this rhythm. Remember, scale degrees is a term that we use to describe the number of the note in a scale. So we number the notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Of course, it's continuous, so it just repeats 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a way for us to think about not only scales in the abstract, so C major scale has so many notes, D major scale has these notes. It's also to think about all of these scales in context of each other, right? So a C major scale sounds very similar to a D major scale, to a G major scale, for example, because every every major scale has the same pattern of 7 notes, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And we number them from 1 to 7. So this is just an intermediary step. Let's say I start with 1, right? So if I went really high, let's say, sure, I'm going to try to think of this as a scale degree 6 because I went up. And I'm going to come back down, so let's say 5, 4, 3, just going along with what I drew here. And then we'll go back up to 5. Because I went up a little bit. And you continue on this process for your composition. Remember, you're trying to fit in your rhythm here in exactly 4 bars of 4/4. Okay. The things I'm looking for again are whether you have the requisite equivalent of quarter notes in each bar. Okay. And then also the next thing I'm going to look at is whether or not the scale degree numbers that you're assigned is accurately transcribed into the actual melody. So for this worksheet, we're using the C major scale, so you can write out the C major scale in treble clef, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We're going to number them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And from there, you can just basically match this up. So the first note, I had a starting on a low 1, okay? So in this case, it's going to be a C, so I'm going to write a C dotted quarter note. Next, I go up to a 6. Notice I'm not going down to a 6 because there are 2 6s, right? You can either go up to the 6 or you can go down to the 6 that's below the 1. So because the contour is going up, okay, I'm going to go up to the 6 that's above 1. Okay, so 6 scale degree here is A, so I'm going to write this note as A. So now I have the same rhythm matched up with the contour and the scale degree that I assigned. And then I'm going to continue with this process, 5, 4, 3, 5. Again, notice that the end result, sort of if you connected the dots like this, okay, it mimics the shape that you have written on top, okay? So if it doesn't, then please make sure you understand which direction you're going, right? So are you going up from this note to this note, okay, from 1 to 6, or are you going down 1 to 6? Because remember that if you started with, let's say if you started with this C as 1, you can also have 6 that's 3 steps below, okay? So again, the end result here, your shape, whatever you draw here in the box, should roughly match what it looks like if you connected all the dots in the notes, okay? Have fun, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with for these melodies.